recognize our power. And I mean, just imagine that if each and every one of us, would say no to the system, and say, you know what, we're not going to play your game, of destruction, of non-sustainability. If we're going to reject certain things, I mean, even without, let's say, the Venus Project, I mean, things will change too, because this guy will say, whoa, I mean.
And and it is a big step to recognize these things because they go directly against
what you're taught.
Mainstream culture as a whole. Everything we do in society, these ideas are contrary to that, when in fact they're just obvious truth. It's just very inconvenient for a lot of people to have to think about. So we as individuals have to express those ideas whenever they, whenever the opportunity presents themselves. I guess the three of us, a couple of us here, literally sent out emails to people we know saying like, this is my thought process, this is why I'm involved with this organization, which is just a grassroots collective, because we feel this way, and we kind of had to like come out of the box, so to speak, come out of the closet, and tell our friends and family.
There's one thing that Jack Fresco pointed out recently, and that is that people really won't do anything until they really have to. Like, honestly, I went bankrupt, and that's why I am involved in this movement. And I see on that film, I see this $700 trillion derivatives bubble is waiting to burst. Okay, what's going to happen when that burst happens? Well, I believe that we're going to either go into hyperinflation and then a depression, or we're just going to skip the hyperinflation thing and go right into a major depression, because all the debts are going to be called in, and who do we owe? China. We're going to be paying China. But basically what's going to happen is people are going to lose everything. They're going to go belly up. And that's when people are going to be interested in real change, like this sort of change. Not reform so that we can get back to the same thing again. Business as usual. Now that won't last. That won't last. I had somebody yesterday who asked me not yesterday, the last screening that we did, that they asked, well, can't we start a complementary currency, in the local area? And the people have to understand that when it actually, when it happens, we have this huge financial collapse, people have to know that we've got a choice between reform, which is everybody we're yelling for, including the big bank, and say, oh yes, we'll give you this reform package, a one world currency, for instance, perfect reform, or the out-of-the-box, the no-money option, the resource-based economy option. People have got to know that once there is a choice. Yes, once we're forced into, when we get everything taken away. Somebody said to me, well, the resource-based economy is going to take away my farm, right? And I said, well, actually, it'll be exactly the opposite. A monetary system is going to collapse. Because you have a mortgage on your farm, the bank is going to take it from you because they own it. But if there's a resource-based economy when you have no ownership, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, listen, you're on your land, you're working the land, keep working it, do the best you can with what you've got, and we'll develop this resource-based economy. We'll help you as much as possible until we can get the whole thing going, and then we can all, figure it out. So exactly the opposite is going to happen.
Later, man. Thanks.
Take it easy. And people don't really think that way. It's an amazing turnaround. Yes.
I think that part of the reason why you're not seeing that people think that way is because, like it was said many times, I feel like, right now I'm flabbergasted with the amount of information that I've received. So a little bit like, mind.
It took me twice now.
But I know that there is something that I definitely don't need to do research on to be able to make an informed decision, and that is that there's a problem with the value system.
Right.
And you guys are trying to spread awareness. You guys aren't trying to start a protest tomorrow.
Right.
You're trying to make a psychosocial difference in our society, and that starts in this small room. and you're trying to change the value system. So giving so much attention to what's going to happen with our debts and everything like that is not something that most people are going to be able to absorb right now, because our mentality, we are victims of our society right now. That's what needs to be changed with awareness. It's not knowing particular facts and everything like that. It's awareness of our values are twisted, and to start interpersonally changing the way we feel and we think about other human beings.
Yes.
Then we can start growing that larger and larger and larger and actually do something. Unfortunately, I feel like that's the only way, and it's a slow process to get awareness and momentum change.
I completely agree, because I always think that this system didn't happen overnight. It was a long progression to get to where we have now. It's going to take probably that long progression to get out of it as well.
Right.
Hopefully, with some of the pressures, it may move a lot faster. But I completely understand. It's the same way. Like they said, Rome wasn't built in a day, so
This is going to take generations. This is not going
It
to.
doesn't have to take generations, though.
There's an immense amount of hope.
We have the
as well.
internet now, right?
No other time in history have we had the capabilities to expand our horizons, expand our knowledge, and distribute information at the rate, at the capability that we have today. So it's not like, you know, we are going to go belly up and we're going to give up. Like, there's a real chance for a better future.
And also that we never had the ability to destroy the planet as we know it, like 100 times over as well. So,
Exactly.
You know, look, it's like, you know, there's tremendous
Everything
great
is
possibilities.
people that
and
are
also
living
a lot of
now
horrible
will
side
not
effects
give up
that
their
happen
value
as
system
well. So
until
that's
they're
why
dead.
sometimes it's more urgent that we try
You
to
talking about the owners?
positive
The
things
pla-
before we
no,
just
even the
up
people
in
that are
wherever they are,
regular
decide to go to
people.
war with someone over resources and start pushing mute buttons, and you know, it can get really, you know.
Well, as more problems ensue, like it's going to become crunch time. You're going to make a decision before we
What else has to,
go to.
value
I want to know.
is very important.
Yeah, but you know, there's an illusion about it, you know, because let's say, you know,
The value of your ownership.
you know, I
is
say,
illusion.
okay, yeah,
Because what we own right now, everything that we see in our world right now has a form of a value to us, whether it's either with money or with some other form of value that we create in our minds. We have to understand that value is created. That's from us. We don't have to create it. We don't want to. And the thing is, between the point of when awareness kicks into the person, there's this stage of awareness, then you have to build to comfort, to be comfortable with. When you walk a certain way, you're always used to walking that way. It's hard to say, now you walk this way, and now you have to get used to walking the other way. So there has to be a stage of comfort before you take the action. And so I believe what's very important is the actual presentation of it. It has to be very accurate.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, it has to do
Isn't there a thing that if we show a system that will actually be better, it'll be more comfortably to accept that system than the present system. So it's more or less we have to show the system how it's better to live.
That's why the movie's supposed to be
what
made.
happened in society was, you know, was like a bubble burst for most people, most Americans, that they thought, okay, I have, you know, the American dream, owning a house, you know, it's my house. But the fact is that it's an illusion, you know, it's not really your house, because something happens to you. Let's say you lose your income. Something happens to you, let's say you stop paying taxes, the property taxes on your house. Guess what's going to happen? They take it away from you. So, was it really your house?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still on a values situation.
Good job.
Reform and change are just extraordinarily scary concepts, and you're trying to start a revolution. Now, I'm not going to use that word again because I'm scared just saying it. So I'm going to go with change because it's a smaller, more comfortable word for me. And words like protest and whatnot are also scary words. But personally, I'm very open-minded and I'm not turned off by what I've seen. I'm actually so far willing, so you should be happy about that, okay?
We share this planet.
But
Not just
I'm
we should.
saying, I guess the point behind my previous commentary is that tact in the way that you are giving the awareness and the information is very important. Because if you say certain words be spiritually aware. That's better than saying the word God. You say the word God, people go away. You know what I mean? You say words like revolution, people are intimidated. So for especially a crowd like this, a college educated crowd who mostly are coming from prosperous families, who do have money, who aren't looking at a situation where they don't know where to buy shoes. They're looking at which pair of Armani shoes are nicer for this season. I'm just saying that tact and the way you're going to present something is important, because I don't think, even for myself, I'm ready to give up certain amenities that I've been used to. And that might be because I am a victim of my society that is now I have a distorted view of what's important, which is why I'm saying for myself, my change after having seen this is going to be interpersonally, and then sharing that lightly with others.
You know, the foundation of marketing really is to answer the question, what's in it for me? That's what everybody asks. What's in it for me? And essentially, we have to change our values so that we are treating our neighbors as if they are family. And when you're dealing with family, you don't charge them money. You know, you give in ways that is mutual, and that has to spread into communities. And what's in it for me? Well, I get back what I give out, really.
And get happiness from that. People
Yes.
say that the most selfish thing you can do is give to others because of the happiness it brings inside of you.
That's right.
And that I agree 100% with the foundation of what the idea is, the concept of a changing value system.
Right.
That's really all my commentary is really about.
Okay, now, and I appreciate
concerning that, actually, if you wouldn't mind.
I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Well, just really quick, just concerning that, because I actually printed out this, it's a great quote, and I just want to take a second. We now know that there's enough to go around. This is by Richard Albert, by the way. In other words, if we truly collaborate with our fellow man, there would be enough to go around for the world. But none of us can break through our own models of the way the game goes enough to do the things necessary to bring about that realization. And it's only when there is enough that we can become back to we and experience the unity when we are truly collaborative with our resources. Man has come out of the jungle where there was not enough, and he has built a whole ethic around not having enough. But that's changed. And that's such a powerful quote that I had actually printed out. But I mean, it really goes along with the value change. We're talking about really, ultimately, the most altruistic thing that this species can do, which is build a society, a system that will take care of everybody. And that's never really been presented before. So it is a huge value change, absolutely.
And also the fact that we can, not that it's theoretical, we can actually feed, clothe, and house everyone in the world.
It changes the entire economic model.
And as you were mentioning that there's definitely a way to go about this approach, you know, you have to be tactful. That's another reason why we're trying to reach out to a more professional academic environment to get this into the mainstream, because as revolutionaries or protesters, you know, mainstream media has this image of a guy with a sign on the corner who's frustrated with society, etc. So you're absolutely right in that regard. So that we're reaching out to, you know, professors and stuff, people who have the ability to influence their students and enact positive change upon them as well.
Yeah, I'm working the same idea at Kane University, trying to get, you know, an academic foundation there. We're talking with the history department, the science departments, and everything else, and just trying to, you know, build a foundation in academic circles. That's one way it's going to happen. That actually would be like the hub that you mentioned in this sort of way.
But I actually do have a question about something. How many people, like maybe not enough around, that might have seen the videos and movies but are afraid to talk about them because of maybe of some conflicts within themselves or around other people?
Family.
That's very, very common. I mean, we all.
Here's the other flip side of this.
Yeah.
The flip side of it is when you're alone and you're trying to discuss it,